Hi, I'm Andrew Kane, politics editor at the Richmond Times-Dispatch. With me is my colleague, politics reporter Dave Ress. Now that the smoke, or most of the smoke, has cleared following Tuesday's legislative primaries, we're here to talk about some of the key races to watch in the fight for control of the House and the Senate in the November elections. So, to set the scene a little bit, during this year's General Assembly session, the Democrats had a 4-seat edge in the state Senate, and Republicans had a 4-seat edge in the House of Delegates. So we'll start off talking a little bit about the state Senate, then we'll get to some key races to watch in the House. Dave, let's talk a little bit about Henrico in our area. One of the key races folks will want to watch is out in Henrico with Senator Siobhan Dunham and Skylar Van Valkenburg.
That's going to be a really interesting one. It's one of the very few that I can see where the incumbent from one party is representing a district that kind of goes the other way in elections. And in this case, the combined effect of redistricting and people's reaction on the national elections in 2022 for Congress really points to an increasing move towards Democrats in this district, and obviously Siobhan Donovan is a Republican. But she does have a lot of community connection. Her career as an OBGYN and her campaign slogan of Donovan Delivers really highlights that. But this is going to be a race that's going to be vital for the governor to hold if he intends to do more and then flip control of the state Senate.
And Delegate Skylar Van Valkenburg also is known a bit in that community as a teacher.
Yep. Yeah, he's got a lot of roots in there too, and part of that was his House district. So he's known. That'll be a fierce one, and expect a lot of money and a lot of door knocking and a lot of advertising there.
Right. Another one we're going to watch is State District 24. This is a district based in Newport News in York County, an area you know quite well.
Yeah, I've worked down there for a number of years. That features a Democrat, Monty Mason, coming up against a Republican with a long track record, former York County Sheriff Danny Diggs. This is a District 2 that's been redistricted in a way that's become very, very swinging. So in 2021, it went slightly for Governor Youngkin. In 2022, it went slightly against Rob Whitman. Rob is a Republican, Monty is a Democrat, Danny Diggs is a Republican. This is a district where Mason's home base is Williamsburg, which he's worked pretty intensively as a delegate and then a community activist for many years. He's been very much of a presence in northern Newport News. York County, however, is very, very Republican, and this is going to be a really tough one for him.
That's another important one to watch. Another one we're watching is Senate District 17. This is in Southside, which we call South Central Virginia. This is based in Suffolk and Isle of Wight. It features Delegate Emily Brewer versus another incumbent delegate, Clint Jenkins.
This is also going to be very interesting. This is one, there's been interesting back and forth here. Basically, all of those districts along the North Carolina line have been, over the past really couple of decades, becoming more and more Republican. Here again, though, in 2022, there was a Democratic resurgence. Part of what may be going on is and sort of indicating where some of the real battles are going to be in the Senate and in the House is in what we call these outer ring suburbs. Suffolk, Isle of Wight County is becoming more and more suburban. The district goes on up into Dinwiddie, which is also a county sort of like that. So this will be interesting to watch how those dynamics play out.
Another outer suburb features another really important race that we'll be watching. This is Senate District 31 up in Loudoun County. This features Juan Pablo Segura, a Republican entrepreneur, versus Democrat Russet Perry, who is a former prosecutor and a former CIA officer.
Yeah, Loudoun is really interesting. It's one of those counties where for a couple of years now, when you pretend to know something about where the state's going politically, you say, watch Loudoun, watch Chesapeake, watch Chesterfield, and This one is, in terms of recent voting, very, very tight. It's swung. It is, in 2022, slightly favored Jennifer Weston, who was, I think, the former senator up there. Loudon is also kind of the heart of what gave Governor Youngkin a lot of his energy in 21 because of the school furors up there.
Parents' rights movement, right. So we'll quickly turn to the House of Delegates contest. Again, Republicans head into this with what had been a 4-seat edge during the General Assembly session. Again, we'll start off talking about Henrico. In House District 57, we have a contest between Susanna Gibson, who is a nurse practitioner, and David Owen, who's a former general contractor who was part owner of Boone Homes.
This is an interesting one, too. One of the things that the political scientists are looking for is a lot of money getting spent. And there was a lot of money in Gibson's primary run. Between her and her opponent, they raised more than $500,000 for a primary race, for a race in a district of like 80,000 people, right?
Yep.
So we know that in a district that's pretty swingy, it's within the plus or minus 2 percentage point margin for whatever party wins. We can expect a lot of money and a lot of advertising and a lot of attention in this one.
Now that Henrico district has had a slight Republican lean in some recent statewide elections, but there's a neighboring district, House District 58, that's got a little bit more of a Democratic pedigree. This features Delegate Rodney Willett, a Democrat who has served since 2020, against Riley Shia. She's a Republican. She's a physical therapist and a small business owner.
This one, too, will be kind of interesting. Western Henrico had long been very Republican. It's becoming more and more Democratic. And again, between 21 and 22, it's become more Democratic, which kind of points to a couple things that we will want to watch as the subtext here. One is, in this day and age, national politics. And so the extent to which former President Trump is really active, that could generate some energy. It has in Virginia suburbs across the state.
And we'll just mention one more contest of note, one that bears watching. There's a contest in House District 82, which is based in Petersburg and Dinwiddie. This features the incumbent delegate, Republican Kim Taylor, who's been in the House since 2022. She knocked off former delegate LaChrise Aird, and she faces Kimberly Pope Adams. She's an accountant who has worked both for the state and for Virginia State University.
Well, if you hate political advertising and door knocking and all the rest of it, and you live around Petersburg, you're in the wrong district this year. This one is a very, very narrow, very, very swingy. It's one where Democrats really feel this belongs to us because of Petersburg. It's one where Republicans and Youngkin probably feel the same way. He's made his partnership for Petersburg a very important part of his agenda. And at every event I've seen down there, Delegate Taylor is there. There's a lot of, I think, strong personal affection there, too, that really means this one's going to get a lot of attention.
So as you can see, there are some really high-profile marquee races in our area as the battle for the House and the Senate will come down just to a few closely contested races. I want to thank Dave Ress for joining me, and please stay tuned to our coverage on Richmond.com.